Krissy Vann joining you on the flip side of the deep record-breaking chill that many of you felt through your Family Day Monday. Taking a look back at Family Day, I think a lot of you decided that it was going to be an indoor crafting type of day. For Kevin Yard, as we've headed through this week, well, he is learning a new skill, a new talent at speed skating. I would say a pretty good job there, Kevin, because if it was me, when he said get to the starting line, that's where everything would have ended. Now let's take a look at your temperatures. I know many of you kind of fearing you're also seeing the flurry icon. Basically, we have a weak surface low that's going to be moving in by the evening hours. The Huron shores getting it. Southern Ontario, this will be a story for your overnight, lingering into Wednesday. It's not going to be very impactful. Less than 2 centimeters for many. Heavier amounts, though, as you travel further north. You're looking at that 2 to 5. Enough to make the roads on the greasy side. Looking ahead, though, we do have a bit of a system to watch as we head into the weekend. So you can see that little surface low moving out for us. And then it's as we head Saturday into Sunday, we're actually watching a new system. Right now, the model's in a little bit of disagreement, looking at 2 to 4 centimeters, but definitely keep it here for the latest. Then temperatures. Well, we're not going to see seasonal temperatures. You can see even Thursday we take another dip, minus 15, feeling like minus 25. May I remind you of 2 things? Toronto, you should be at minus 1 this time of year. Silver lining, we're just over 30 days till spring, so maybe that thought will warm you up. Hamilton, you actually broke a record from 1866 yesterday morning. That's how cold you were. Staying quite chilly Thursday and Friday with that negative double-digit wind chills, feeling like minus 25 for your Thursday. Oshawa, you'll be feeling like minus 27. Okay, so we do remember that lingering polar vortex of last year, but how about the start of our Family Day on Monday? Record-breaking temperatures here, and a lot of the comments are saying, yeah, great. They'd rather not have had them. Then again, at least you didn't spend your day doing this.
Okay, I'm getting ready to do the plunge. I'm at the Great Canadian Chill. Sears puts this on. I am very nervous right now. My body is screaming at me to stop, but it's all for a good cause, raising money to end children's cancer. I'm going to hand off the mic and do it.
Okay, Michelle, we're going to cheer you in on this. Are you ready? Okay, guys, up cheer Michelle in 3, 2, 1, chill!
Where did they go?
For the weather number, I got Michelle Mackey! Oh my God!
I literally just got goosebumps watching that. Unbelievable job there, Michelle. You should tweet at Michelle Mackey and give her some kudos, because talk about what a day to do that. Record-breaking cold in the morning, and we didn't recover that much. As we head in through our evening hours, we are going to be watching a weak surface low develop. So Huron shores, you're looking at that build in through the evening. By the overnight and in through your day Wednesday, we're going to see this move through Southern Ontario, generally less than 2 centimeters, enough to grease up the roads. And then further north, you're looking at that 2 to 5 centimeters of snow falling. Looking ahead, though, Thursday, Friday, dry but cold. Thanks for that, Kim. Well, we saw how everyone has been faring with all the snow of this winter, but how did you do in that Family Day cold? Absolutely frigid. I myself found it a pull the covers back over my head kind of day. You can tweet me at Krissy Vann. Let me know what you got up to. As for what Kevin Yard got up to, well, getting some speed. Way to go, Kevin. I think I would need much more safety equipment, like a whole padded suit. I'm not too great on skates. Looking ahead through this evening and overnight, we have this surface low developing over Hudson Bay. That is going to be generating a little bit of snowfall. You can see the impacts of it through the Huron shores by the evening, and then Southern Ontario. This is your story, the overnight hours lingering into our Wednesday. So less than 2 centimeters for many along the eastern shores of Lake Ontario. We could be looking at some lake enhancement, so some higher totals there. Looking ahead Thursday, Friday, you'll be dry but cold, and then we're watching another system for your weekend. For those of you that were off on Family Day, I'm sure it turned into an indoor craft kind of day for many, and this is why. Some incredible record-breaking temperatures. Would you jump into a pool on temperatures with that type of morning? Well, she did. Oh my goodness, please tweet at Michelle Mackey and give her some kudos, because I really don't know if I could do it. Now, Kevin Yard has been enjoying a different activity, getting some speed with an activity that could probably warm you up a little bit. Oh, the kids there just couldn't wait to get started. Now, we dealt with the chill on your Family Day Monday, but as we head through this evening, the overnight, we have this weak surface low that's going to move through, make things a little slick on the roads. Not going to be a massive snowmaker. I mean, generally less than 2 centimeters for much of the GTA. But along eastern Ontario, we are going to be looking at the potential of some lake enhancement. That's because of some southerly winds that are moving in. As we look ahead, though, I mean, some lingering snow in through our Wednesday, and then it does calm down Thursday, but it's going to be our coldest day of the week. And what we're watching is this into our Saturday and Sunday. This system, there's a lot of model disagreement. Right now, it's been saying about 2 to 4 centimeters. Well, we'll have to keep a close eye on that. And then the temperatures, you can see well below seasonal. We're not getting much relief from that, but Thursday, the day where we really chill down, minus 15, feeling like minus 25. Hamilton as well. You'll feel like minus 25 and then stay cold right throughout your weekend. Saturday, seeing some snow. The Arctic deep freezer was blasted over southern Ontario for your Family Day. I know myself, it was a pull the covers back over my head type of day. Hamilton, you broke a record from 1866 at minus 29.1 degrees for your Family Day morning. And of course, when we have cold temperatures like that, you see this of layers. We should have it down to a science by now. We're right in the heart of winter. Looking ahead through this evening, we're going to see a surface low develop through the overnight, lingering into Wednesday. We are going to be dealing with some snowy conditions, not high amounts. You can see for the greater Toronto area, less than 2 centimeters, up through the north, 2 to 5. And we'll have to watch along the eastern shores in eastern Ontario because you could be dealing with some lake enhancement off Lake Ontario. Looking ahead, Thursday, Friday, it's going to be quiet but cold. I'll show you just how much your temps are dipping in a moment. But I do want to just give a heads up over this system coming out of the south for Saturday. Models are having a little bit of disagreement right now, saying 2 to 4 centimeters, but we'll have to keep a watchful eye and a watchful eye as well on this temperature dip. Thursday in Toronto, minus 15, feeling like minus 25. Hamilton not excluded from the chill, feeling like minus 25. And I mean, look at these wind chills right into the weekend. Not too much improvement. And Oshawa, minus 27 is what it will be feeling like on Thursday. Here in Summerside, Prince Edward Island, of course, Atlantic Canada, battered again by the nether nor'easter. And look at this. In Charlottetown, you saw 80 centimeters of snow Sunday into Monday. Everyone having some impressive totals there. And that's on top of the hundreds that have already fallen. Impacts of the nor'easter move out of Newfoundland and Labrador through the day today. We do have a surface low that's going to be impacting Ontario through the overnight, bringing a couple of centimeters. A weak trough as well moving through Alberta. That's going to bring a little bit of snow to you in Edmonton and Red Deer and the BC coast, dry and mild. Hamilton, you were minus 29.1, and that broke a record from 1866. Not so much the case today, but still quite cold. Minus 10, feeling like minus 16 in Kitchener, minus 7, feeling like minus 12 in Toronto. That's not helping all the water main breaks we've been seeing. We do have some snow moving in the overnight, 2 to 5 centimeters for many in through the greater Toronto area, just under 2 centimeters to fall. You were minus 29.1, and that broke a record from 1866. Not so much the case today, but still quite cold. Minus 10, feeling like minus 16 in Kitchener, minus 7, feeling like minus 12 in Toronto. That's not helping all the water main breaks we've been seeing. We do have some snow moving in the overnight, 2 to 5 centimeters for many in through the greater Toronto area, just under 2 centimeters to fall. Thanks for that, Dad. Cheryl and Krissy with you. Pretty incredible footage there. That shows how nature can be your playground in the winter, but it also can be not so much a friend, but more of a foe. Gus, they were literally knocked off their feet.
Yeah, they were. And then we look at St. John's. Even St. John's saw a 91 kilometer per hour wind gust. And the winds are still gusty here in Newfoundland, but it's easing throughout the day and through tomorrow. But we have another low pressure systems coming in. So that's going to bring yet another 5 to 10 centimeters of snow across the South Avalon.
And of course, in Ontario, it has been the temperatures that have been a massive story. Not as cold as yesterday, but still downtown Toronto, minus 13. And with temps like that, would you do this?
Okay, I'm getting ready to do the plunge. I'm at the Great Canadian Chill. Sears puts this on. I am very nervous right now. My body is screaming at me to stop, but it's all for a good cause, raising money to end children's cancer. I'm going to hand off the mic and do it.
Okay, Michelle, we're going to cheer you in on this. Are you ready? Okay, guys, up to Michelle in 3, 2, 1, show!
see that the whole time. I don't even think I breathed watching it. Amazing, Michelle. Well done.
The adrenaline was up before and after.
Yeah.
Snowfall forecast, less than 2 centimeters around the GTA. We've seen it a million times, yet we just keep living vicariously through Michelle. The look ahead now. We have a low pressure system over Ontario. It's a weak one. It brings, again, 2 to 5 centimeters, but more so the focus on it merging with a Gulf low, and that's going to be moving into the Atlantic provinces.
I know a lot of people probably not too happy with that news. So basically all those snow blowers, don't put them too hard at work because they're going to be needed again.
And when we talk temperatures, well, here's the thing. In the west, it's not so bad. We've got some real nice air in place in double digits in some cases. But yeah, across Atlantic Canada, here's our must-see video just to recap what's been going on across the east.
Winter, perhaps those geese there taking advantage and celebrating all of this. Look at this surge of warm, mild air in the coast. Pretty impressive. As we head in through Alberta, southern Alberta, you're actually dealing with downsloping winds, so that's giving you milder temperatures. But we do have a weak trough, and that's going to bring less than 2 centimeters to Edmonton, Red Deer. Slightly higher amounts to the north. Today, they're going to start with the icebreakers, basically doing preventative measures for the spring. Yeah, we're just about a month and a little bit to spring. Not too bad. A reassuring sight when you're dealing with this. Wind chills of minus 29 in Saskatoon, feeling like minus 33 in Winnipeg. You are seeing sun and cloud, though. Looking at this evening into Ontario, Thunder Bay, feeling like minus 26. Toronto, feeling like minus 17. Perhaps that means trying to take on a new sport to warm up. Awesome job, Kevin. I'll let you know where that would have gone wrong for me. When he said skaters to the line, that might have been the end of my speed skating career. Looking ahead through this evening, overnight lingering into Wednesday, we do have a weak surface low moving in. That is what's generating the snowfall. So for the greater Toronto area and then further east, Ottawa, Montreal, less than 2 centimeters. Then up to the north, 2 to 5. But just bear in mind, if you are in eastern Ontario, you could pick up a little bit of lake enhancement, and that's just due to the wind direction coming out of the south. Looking through Wednesday, I almost hate to say it because I know you just got battered by that nor'easter, but we do have a system skirting to your south. So southern Nova Scotia, you're looking at less than 5 centimeters as we head through your evening overnight hours. That will continue to push into Newfoundland. The Avalon Peninsula, you can see some heavier amounts at 5 to 10 centimeters. And just bear in mind, lots of snow on the ground. So anytime those wind gusts pick up, blowing snow is still going to be a concern while you dig out. I know everyone's working to get things back to normal. As we look ahead, unfortunately, we have yet another system Thursday into Friday making its way into Atlantic Canada. So that's going to be bringing a little bit more of a messy situation. And then we're watching this flow out of the south for Ontario. That's a Saturday into Sunday story, and we are looking at about 2 to 4 centimeters at the moment. Well, one thing is for sure, the west has been winning at winter. This ridge in the jet stream means still mild air through the BC coast, even Alberta through the prairies. It's pretty quiet. It does get cold, though, in the prairies and right through to the east. It has been downright frigid in Ontario, but one thing's for sure, didn't want to interrupt that adorable little weather selfie at the end. Look at this, though. Mark Robinson, one of our storm hunters here, they have been trying to navigate through Summerside, Prince Edward Island. The Confederation Bridge was shut down earlier. They've been able to get through since then, but one thing's for sure, the plows, the trucks, so hard at work trying to get things back to normal, especially when you're navigating through this. I mean, the snowbanks, incredible. Jacqueline Whittle, of course, was also in Summerside, PEI, one of our meteorologists here, and I kudos to both of them because I know being in those conditions and that type of wind, it's difficult. I mean, you see all this snow that's left over. Add to that areas like Grand Etang that saw 176 kilometer per hour wind gusts. It does make for some epic photo ops afterwards. And this. Try plowing your way to get to your front door. This is incredible. There were so many tweets that I saw the other day of the snow all the way to the top of the door, and I have to admit that makes me feel, even looking at it, downright claustrophobic. Now, colder air has funneled in behind this system, and that is why this adorable little pup in Nova Scotia has opted for the jacket. Now, into Ontario, you've been feeling the blast of winter, the chill. Hamilton actually broke a record. Minus 29.1 is what you were Monday morning, breaking a record from 18 1866. So I tweeted this out, and I have a feeling Monique Beach that treated me back great. It was that sarcastic. Great. Probably not too happy. Of course, we always have amazing stories that you can check out at theweathernetwork.com. My top recommendation is this story here about a rescue of a baby seal in Nova Scotia. Your local forecast is up on the 10s.
Cheryl Plouffe, Krissy Vann with you. The developing stories this hour, stuck in the snow across eastern Canada, and you'll see why in a moment. Record-breaking cold. And where is it mild? There is an area of the country that's actually experiencing mild air.
And some of the photos, Cheryl, that I've been seeing on Twitter as well, snow that's drifted through the entire front door. I actually think I'd feel a bit claustrophobic in that situation.
I think so too. 80 centimeters of snow. And
Deer Lake, 20 centimeters, Stephenville, 18 centimeters. And I know today a concern is going to be blowing snow, particularly along the Avalon Peninsula.
Yeah, the wind is still an issue for Newfoundland and Labrador too. The blizzard continues there. But now at least we've seen some improvements. It's cleanup time in the Maritimes. But looking at this now through Wednesday, we've got another low pressure system coming through, and it will impact the South Avalon records. In Northern Ontario, it's pretty common to see temperatures, minus 30s, minus 40s wind chills. People have to, plug their vehicles in.
Sure.
That's the kind of weather we've been experiencing.
Yeah, I mean, Hamilton, I think, stands out the most. At minus 29.1 Monday morning, you broke a record from 1866. That's incredible.
Now we have another low pressure system coming that's bringing some snowfall, but it's a weak low pressure system. The temperatures are not as cold now or for the next few days as they've been the last couple, so that's some improvement. But yeah, there is still a lot of cold in place across the eastern prairies and northern Ontario.
And talking about all this cold and snow, I think it's a good time to mention we're just over 30 days till spring, so the end is near. If we're looking at the total...
Looking great for the BC interior, and at the coast we're reaching double digits. Vancouver and Victoria, 11 degrees and 10 degrees respectively.
Yeah, above seasonal and staying that way for the foreseeable future. Edmonton, if we head into Alberta, a little bit chillier at minus 7, but Calgary as well, right around that seasonal mark.
So the cold air, eastern prairies, we're getting some improvements here across southern Alberta, although some flurry activity is expected.
Hamilton, Ontario actually broke a record yesterday morning, minus 29.1 degrees. That was a record that was broken from 1866. So pretty impressive. And this flood of Arctic air continues to funnel in. We're going to have this weak front moving through, and that's going to generate a bit of snowfall through the evening, overnight, lingering into Wednesday. Not highly large totals. I mean, less than 2 centimeters for much of the greater Toronto area. Higher to the north at 2 to 5. And then just be watchful in eastern Ontario. We could see a little bit of lake enhancement. Heading into the prairies, well, temperatures frigid. You can see here the deep freezer, quite evident in Swift Current with it feeling like minus 23, Saskatoon feeling like minus 29, and in Manitoba, feeling like the minus 30s. None too pleasant. As we head through the evening, as I mentioned, we are going to be seeing a little bit of activity here as well. A warm front moving through. That's going to bring about 2 centimeters to Edmonton and Red Deer. It's not going to be a highly impactful event either. And then if you're heading further north, Slave Lake, high level, looking at that 2 to 5 centimeter mark. We're going to take a look now, though, at a nice picturesque scene here of the nor'easter now. Some lingering impacts through Newfoundland today as well. We'll have a system skirting to your south for southern Nova Scotia in through the Avalon. We're going to be looking at a couple centimeters of snow. But what we're watching is that low merge in late week and yet another system impacting Atlantic Canada for the latter half of the week. Nasty business for those of you that have been nonstop shoveling and snow blowing. We are looking, as I say, Wednesday at those flurries lingering around in Ontario. High pressure for the prairies, but still going to be cold unless you're in Alberta. We have downsloping winds. That's going to be bringing some milder air in for you and staying dry along the coast. As we head in toward Thursday, you may pick up a millimeter of rain in areas like Vancouver, so not going to be seeing any significant rainfall totals. Heading in through Thursday and Friday, we are looking at a little bit of wet snow for Alberta. That same low is going to continue to skirt into Saskatchewan and Manitoba. So you may pick up a couple of flurries there, but again, not a ton of active weather. But Atlantic Canada, yet again, that low starts to approach you. So you're going to see some gustier winds and some snowfall as well.